There is a real identity crisis happening right now with a lot of women that are in midlife whose kids are pretty much grown up but still living at home. So we don't quite have an empty nest yet. So if you are a mother whose kids are still living at home, they have their own lives, they're busy, you're trying to figure out what your purpose is now, what role you play, this video is for you. Today I had lunch with a friend, and I'm noticing a pattern with a lot of the ladies that I get together with that are my age, and most of the women my age that I know, their kids are still living at home. None of them are fully empty nesters. So we're all kind of going through the same stage right now. And what we're finding is that it's very difficult because we knew this was coming, but no one really prepared us. And I wish, where was YouTube years ago when this started, this feeling of loneliness, and no one's really prepared us. And I think with most people, until you need a solution for something, that's when you come to YouTube. And years ago, I didn't need a solution. I didn't need answers because there wasn't an issue. But now, as I said, I'm noticing with all of my friends, we're all feeling the same, that our time has basically come to an end. With our kids needing us, we don't need to be driving them to soccer and piano and baseball and whatever else. And we put so much emphasis on our family that now when we're at this point, in our 50s, we sacrifice so much for the family that there's not really anything here now for us. And it's, the questions start going through your mind, what do I do now? My cat Gideon's here. The kids don't need me. I'm not ready for this. I'm all of a sudden feeling alone. Oh my gosh, now I got to spend time with my spouse. So it's a real transition period for a lot of us. And, I have two kids. I have an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old. And my daughter, she's a bit of a flyer, meaning that she loves to be going out, exploring, doing things. She lived in Toronto for university. And I know that she's not going to be here for a long time. She's been back home for a year. And I know that she's going to spread her wings again and off she's going to go. So I'm prepared for that, sort of. Last week she was away. She was in Ottawa with her friends for the week. And I just had this weird feeling of intense loneliness. And I've never really had that before. And I think it's just coming to the realization that my time is limited. My days are numbered. Even though I know that my time is running out and I've known that this is coming, it's still hard when you're in it and you're living it. And I've known this, and what I've done over the years, I have incorporated a lot of other things into my life so I wouldn't get to this point and be, crushed and lonely and feeling like I have no purpose. I did do a video talking about why it's really important to do things alone, because you're going to come to this point in life and it's like redefining who you are, trying to find your purpose. Who are you and what do you do now? So I'll share that video here. And I do a lot of things on my own. Now I'm married, but my husband doesn't always want to do what I want to do, or, we're on different schedules. So I have been doing things alone. And I think it's so important when your kids become preteens, I guess, and early teens, that's when you need to start incorporating other things into your life. Go out with your friends, join some clubs, go to classes, even just going out alone. Because you get to this point, and even though I'm prepared for this point, it still hurts a lot. So I also, during that conversation with my friend, we talked about why or how we do so much for our kids. And she said, okay, well, do your kids have chores? And I was like, well, sort of. What about yours? And she's like, well, no. And we had a bit of a chuckle over it because we're both very high achievers and always on the go, doing so many different things. And, taking on all of the work at home is something that we really don't have room on our plates for, but we do. And we were laughing about it because that, you have teenagers. That's what they're there to help, right? But our thought was also, and my kids do have chores. My son, he takes care of the recycling and the garbages. And then my daughter, she takes care of dishes and, taking the laundry downstairs. So they each have some chores, but they could be doing a lot more. But we take on all these things. And I think too, it's because we just want to have, it's hanging on to that purpose. And also it's just, they're only with us for so long and they're young for so long. So why not make life easier for them? And then we also laughed saying that, okay, well, when they eventually fly the coop and go out on their own, they will figure things out. It's not like they're not going to know how to cook a meal or do the laundry or whatever. They'll figure it out. And my friend has an older child who she had when she was younger, in her teens. So that child, she said that she did the same. She did everything for her. And I think she's now, I don't know, she's like 28 or something like that. She said she's managing just fine, that they will figure things out. So I honestly don't feel like there's any harm in helping your kids and doing things for them. If you can ease their load a bit. Oh my goodness, my cat, he's getting into something. I'm downstairs here in my workroom. I'm getting a bit sidetracked here. I work full time, but I also run a small business, and this is what I do. I make handmade products. So Dante, he's climbing around in the closet. Anyway, so I wanted to just come here today to chat about that because I'm noticing this pattern when I get together with my friends that are my age. We're all feeling the same. And it's funny, you know, people that maybe you haven't had the time to hang out with and go visit, we're all feeling the same. We're feeling that loss of purpose and a little bit of loneliness. And it's a really weird feeling. It's just this understanding between us. And any of the friends that I've reached out to that maybe I haven't seen for years, but, you know, would still call them a friend, they are more than happy to get together to go even just for a coffee, or if we go out for dinner, or, hey, you know what, I saw this event. Do you want to go to it? Every single one of them has been up for it because we're all feeling the same, feeling a little bit lost, a little bit sad, a lot sad, lonely, no purpose. So I think, you know, if we can spend that time with our friends and we chat and we laugh and we also, you know, create these activities for ourselves outside of our family and do that earlier on, that will help so much. And this is the thing with my channel here. I'm struggling a little bit because I haven't quite figured out what my niche is. You know, I was lucky enough that I did have a viral video. But for me, a lot of the channels for my age are people that are starting over. You know, they're newly divorced, they quit their job, or they're retired, or what have you. But I'm still working. My kids are still living at home. I'm not planning to retire for a few years for sure. So that's where I'm kind of struggling with what to come here and talk about. So I'm just kind of throwing everything to the wall and seeing what kind of sticks and sharing my perspective on things, my thoughts, my experiences, and thoughts about the future and what will happen, you know, when I do retire. So I do appreciate if you've been here with me and you're, you know, following along in all of these this bumpy road of trying to figure out what exactly this channel is going to consist of. And for the most part, I think this is kind of a fun way to do it, where I've met up with friends or something's happened in my life. And it's one of those moments where you're like, oh gosh, we got to talk about this. We got to laugh about this. We got to cry about this. So I'm going to try to do that more often as well. But I'm down here in my workroom and I'm going to get started on working on some products. Let me just grab one for you here. So this is basically what I do in my spare time. So my kids, they're on their own agenda. They're on their own schedule. They don't need me. And as far as my husband, it's the same thing. You know, we have to schedule in. You know, we say, everyone, write your schedule on the fridge. I'm old school. I still want it in paper. Write your schedule down. And then we have to go in and find dates and times where, hey, schedule in mom and dad. We're going to do something, you know, and we always try to have dinner at the table for whoever is home. That is one thing we do not deviate from, because that is the time where we can sit and have a conversation. So if you can try to incorporate that, at least, you know, any time you can find with your kids, even if it's scheduled. So that's what I'm up to. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving that a try. But it's been just, my son's starting university in September. So I don't know if maybe that's why I'm extra emotional about things and sad, because I know that his time will be coming to an end eventually soon as well. It's a tough time. So anyways, if you're in the same boat, almost empty nester, or kids that are still home and, they have their own lives, let me know you're here in the comments. I'm happy to hear your thoughts, how you're doing. Anyone that does comment, it helps everyone else as well. So until next time, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to get to work down here. I do have some things to make here for my small shop. My cats are here with me. And thank you for watching. If you did make it to the very end, I do appreciate you. And until next time, bye for now.